Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Humanity. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, again, our obligation, or my obligation to all living creations on planet Earth, is to kind of sing a song that Mother Nature taught me when I was in a state of when I was in a state of when I remember when I was a little boy. Yeah, when I was a little boy, Mama used to sing, "Where do broken hearts go?" Where do broken hearts go? So I do remember that, and I said, what a beautiful song Mama used to sing, because her heart was never broken that time. It was broken in these what you call modern times, when men thought that we are macho men. In order to be a macho man, you have to either kind of shed blood of innocent women and children using ballistic missiles. I said, okay, if Mama used to sing that song, she had a very good reason. In those days, there were the macho men started in what she classified as the 11 centuries of madness, stagnant centuries of madness. And she said, I'll put it on a clear plate that some men use when you are eating rice. In our culture, when you are eating rice, they pour the whole patka, whatever, on a plate, a big, I don't know how they call it in English. They call it olusania. They take out, they put a very big whatever, and they put either rice, and you start picking. So Mama used to sing a song, "Where do broken hearts go?" I said, what? Mama, what do you mean, where do broken hearts go? I don't want to break people's hearts this morning. I just want to work out, because we are talking about health of both human beings and all other creations that we live by side as a community of Muslims. Because in the world of other creations, unless you come out of nowhere and you find a tree singing Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, say, oh, I'm a Pentecost, I'm going to cut that branch of that tree because it was singing Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, and me, I'm a Pentecost. So the next day you find a man in a dry land, a dry country where rain hardly rains, and the man got a machete, and he came and he chopped off the trees. And I said, what is going on in these brains of men of today? Anyway, these are things that we need to kind of, we are, because we are eating rice. And the rice is on a big kind of lusania. You pick from there, you pick from here, you pick from there. So no, don't be kind of disgusted or put off when I pick a morsel of a rice from the other whatever side and say, that's where, cool, who is that? Joanna is eating from. Let me see whether her portion, her side tastes more than my side here. So I put in the Pentecost, the Ahmadiyya, the Qadiani, and so many other dirty things that were involved in the 11 centuries of such a stagnant, very filthy, dirty kind of a period of time. In some languages, lapse. Is it time lapse? Is it or lapse time? It's time lapse. Where men thought that those who left in that time, they didn't think that there would be a man who was recording each and everything that was going on in the 11 centuries that are gone, whereby men in Europe kind of woke up and said, we are in a revolution of industrial revolution. What took over the industrial revolution? It was hijacked. Hijacked by who? It was hijacked by sadism. Men thought that if we manufacture, because in the Middle Ages, there were spears, but these spears were being kind of manufactured for whatever, what we saw as men who used to go in coliseums on a Sunday with a bottle of a utensil of alcohol. When they entered the coliseums, they would have a spear and a panga, a machete. Some would sing the song of gladiators. And the other madmen who say, I'm a gladiator, who hack themselves to death. I think that was what kind of Mama was singing of. Where do broken hearts go? Where did these men who used to say, we are gladiators, and they hack one another, and they hack one another, whereas the women and the other men, we are laughing and fully intoxicated with the alcohol. That time Mama used to sing, and I said, Mama, what does this song really mean? Where do broken hearts go? I said that when I was, whenever I used to walk around, I used to look at it and say, Mama sang this song the other day. What does it mean? Because Mama, she sings for me, and sometimes either very tired, you know. I saw men suffering from not men. They look like men, but then in they say they are suffering with kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor is a disease which malnutrition. It's a disease when men have no food, enough food to put in their stomach. But then Mama said they spend a lot of time in what we call the Industrial Revolution. What happened in the Industrial Revolution? Men manufactured artilleries, guns, and they exported them to every section, every corner of this world. And after a few export and export, there was what we called, we are not going to go in the Middle Ages. We are talking about a very near near to the end of the whatever. We came to the 19th century or 18th century, when men had become, they found out that our industrial revolution has exported enough machinery, artilleries, tanks. Then the First World War started. What happened in the First World War? This is what I said, that the Industrial Revolution was hijacked by sadism. Men with a narrow mind, so that if we have a lot of weapons, because in modern times, a man to prove and attract attention and fame and what have you, he has to say, I'm a man who can be more than a gladiator. I can spill blood of either innocent children using an artillery or missile or ballistic missile. These are the kind of narrow, very narrow thing. I don't know where it is in the brain. Very narrow. Because if I would think of a 5-year little baby girl who is very innocent, she walks with her mom, sometimes she jumps and says, Mommy. And the only thing in her arms is a baby doll, a doll. You know, doll. These are things that the baby girls carry. And all she knows is that. Very innocent. Whereas the so-called Senate, a man who is a senator, who sits on the assembly of Senate, thinks that, making these ballistic missiles more precision, more pinpointing in kind of when it obliterates a building. For me, that is very, very mesmerizing. We're forgetting that here in our country, in America, me being, I'm a former senator, but I realized that having gone to Harvard, having gone to Yale University, I got nothing from there, except that I was someone did, I don't know why they opened the hole on my head, And that all made it very difficult for me to put anything in there because my head became hollow. When they poured the whiskey, the cognac, and whatever in my head, it just went through, as if it was going through a sinkhole. And I was helped, but it never stuck in my muscle tissues. So that way, whatever was to damage my brain kind of, because it went through, my body became very clean. And I realized being a senator, the only way we can save these kids in America is by stop producing these kind of dirty things which we call weapons. I know we say we have a liberty, whatever, that every man is entitled to a weapon. What if you say you are entitled to a weapon and you find that you left your daughter with the mother at home and you're a senator, you are in the whatever in the Senate, and all of a sudden a madman, because our wives, when we leave them at home, we say, I'm going to do my work, which is I'm a senator. You go in there, whatever, you have security. But the wife doesn't have that kind of luxury where she has to be escorted by gunmen everywhere. She goes to the park with her 5-year little girl, your daughter, to kind of enjoy the sunshine. And all of a sudden a madman, sometimes on the walls he's doing shopping in a mall. Haven't you seen malls where men enter malls and spreading guns, bullets? So this way, I said, as a senator who has a hole on my head, and that hole was put there in order to kind of fill it with a filler. You know, filler, when there's a hole on the wall, you fill it with filler. If it doesn't open, you fill it with filler. But it kept coming off, the filler kept coming off, and it helped me. Whatever they put there went through. So I never nothing was stuck in my system. Instead, what was left is the song which Mama used to sing. Where do broken hearts go? I said, Mama, I think I know what broken hearts, to them who created the heart. He who created the heart, I think he had a manual. And that manual kind of was given to men, but men said, no, our way is better than the manual. So when they said that our way of life is better than the manual, which was given to them by he who created the heart, which was broken, with hearts which were broken during the 11 centuries of a very stagnant and deadly and kind of genocide after genocide. War after war, First War, then Second World War. And men celebrated every other year. We are celebrating the war dead. I said, why are these men sick? Because what I didn't tell men, that being a senator in the Senate of America, I did participate in Second World War because I was born in Sheffield, England. I was born in Sheffield, England. When I was about 8, 10, 13, my mother and I, we moved to Devon. As I was growing up, going to school in Devon, this in the Second World War broke up. So my mother and I, because I was old enough to be trained as a pilot, I trained as a pilot. And I used to go and drop, these dirty things which we call bombs over German. We dropped them. But one time I wasn't unlucky, but on my way, because I had to go deep in German, in the other side of German. When I dropped off, but on my way back to England, where I flew from, my plane was shot. I was hit by something, and when I hit the ground, I found myself as a 5-year little boy in Palestine. Can you imagine? I thought I was dead, but I found myself as a 5-year little boy in Palestine. With my grandma and my mama, and we were very happy. Then as time went on, after a few years, then the Europeans or the survivors of the Holocaust came to say we've been given this land, which was then called Palestine, and we will call it Israel. On that very day, that's the day, I don't know how we left, me and my grandma, how we left Israel. I mean, how we left Palestine. So I found myself in a different land. And my color, the color of my skin was different. I said, yeah, Allah, what a beautiful thing. So my grandma and my grandpa, they are always very, very happy with me. My grandpa, all he used to do to know is me, and me, I used to know only my grandpa and my grandma. And they used to sing for me. If grandma is not singing for me, grandpa is singing for me. He's saying, look at that. Yeah, he studied that. Yeah, and my mama, the song she used to sing, the Where Do Heartbroken Go. That time stopped because mama, the last time I saw my mama, is when we were in Palestine, which is called Israel now. So I participated in the Second World War. That's what I wanted to put in on the table. There is no need for these things they call war. Because what happened, what I want men to know, is that in Europe, before in the Second World War, before Hitler became what you call, they call them these men despots, the men who are insane. The people who made Hitler, well, yeah, a lot of them are Polish and this. They used to shout, Hitler. We are here in England, we said, you men, you've been kind of misleading other men. And you are now singing Hitler. But if this man becomes a burden of whatever, we will come and hit him. And because that time they built Germany, the Berlin. Berlin was one of the greatest cities on planet Earth at that time. And I said to men, if a city is built on the tears of other men, that city will not stand. That city will not stand at all. Because men are crying, their tears on every wall of the city. So I said that. We waited. So after, when Hitler had become a nuisance, countries like Greece, Romania, Poland, these are countries which exported fellow citizens to the gallows of the whatever we call where men were exterminated using either gas chambers and fire, whatever, infernos. When we in England, we saw that, we said, no, we cannot allow this to happen now to our fellow human being. Because some of us in England had sense. We still do have sense. So we went and fought. That's when I told you that I was killed there. I was meant to be a dead man, many, whatever ago. But Allah said, no. The day my plane was hit, I became a Palestinian. We used to live in a place called Yaffo in northern Israel. We call it northern Israel. There's a mountain called Tabar. It's not a mountain, it's a smaller hill, something like a mountain, but it's called Tabar. That's where we used to live, and my grandma and my mom and everyone. So when the Europeans invaded Palestine, me and my grandma and my grandpa, I found myself in a new land with a different color. I was always, from that time, my kind of, I became scared of these men when they sing the song of war. They used to sing songs of war. And I said, I hate those things. Because through them I became a place where, but in that place where I grew up, where my grandpa and my grandma were, I used to enjoy a lot of natural beauty. We used to have trees, huge trees. But the only thing I missed was my mom, because she was never there to sing Where Do Broken Hearts Go. I think as a part of it, she was singing that if I don't see my son, my beautiful, handsome son Dawood, maybe my heart will kind of. But I always recorded, I always looked in the whatever, and I see how whenever I look at myself, I say, Mama is there, and Grandma is singing, Grandpa is singing. I said, yeah. One day the heart of broken whatever will cure. So with that, we are looking at health. And how can we, as human beings on planet Earth, look to a future where that no man goes out of their head and say, we are investing $8 trillion on ballistic and nuclear warheads as an inheritance for the 5-year little boy like me when I was Palestine. Ever since then, I've never put a gun in my hand, and I don't want to come across one. When we left Palestine, that is the last. When I was hit when I flew to Germany and dropped up a bomb, and then as I was flying back to England, that is the last time I've ever known what to use a gun. Because that time, when my plane was hit, I just found myself as a 5-year little boy. 5-year little boys, they don't carry guns. They pull kites, kites. This whatever made out of paper. You play with it and you run as if you're pulling a plane. That's what I used to know. I used to pull. Mama would do. And I dance with it. The wind kind of the air blows, the breeze blows the kite, and I say. So that way. I just want to remind men, my fellow human beings, that it is in an unconscious and state of insanity that men think that 11 centuries of such a very stagnant First World War, then Second World War, then what we call this, where you call Cold War. Because Cold War is also where men carried out what we call assassinations, stalking and assassinations, stalking of individuals identified as a threat to our way of life. They stalk you if you are whatever, they assassinate you. That still goes on today, but it's something that I'm trying to drum and say, future generations, keep out of this old the gangs, like the old age, what we call it, the old guard gang style assassination and war, drumming, backing the war. We here in where I live, I have dogs, I have cats. There's a dog called Bella. There's a dog called Adam. Sometimes she barks and he runs up and down and says, what are you barking at? He says, roar, roar, roar. Barking all the time. But that's okay. And the cats, when they meow too, sometimes they say, don't enter in my territory. No, they don't say, don't come into my territory. But I said, you cats, we are one community of Muslims. Look at Mr. Chicken or she chicken. She produces an egg. If I do fry that egg or boil it, I can give you a piece to you as a cat, and you chew it very happy. So we need to contribute to a harmonious environment where the Mother Nature says, let me bring the rain, do your bit, plant trees. Let your children, instead of building my whatever nuclear warheads, let every child be accustomed to planting trees. Let every 10-year or 5-year-old boy be accustomed to love Mother Nature by planting trees. Year to year. Planting trees and planting trees. Even if you see, now you see that there's a desert. But once you men work as a team, you can easily push the desert back into its pocket. You can easily push the deserts into their pockets. You say, we plant a tree here. If whatever we do, carry the water and come and put in the hole where we need to plant the tree, so that it feeds for 3 days, and after 3 days we bring water and put it, water the plant. So the desert keeps coming and say, let me put water there. I have to kind of go back in my pocket. So my people, I may talk like, sometimes men say that I'm a radio, but I'm not a radio. I'm just talking of 11 centuries, a very stagnant period, and no one has those records except me and my mother, who says, where do heartbroken go? Where did the mothers of the European men and women who fought in the Second World, what did they do? They left this planet heartbroken. Because as mothers, you don't like your son, the one you carried for 9 months, to be say, we are recruiting, we want to go to war. We want to go to war. Do men, when they go to war, who do they go to do? To kill other men or to kill what? They go to kill other men. So why is the wisdom in that? The wisdom would suggest that a man was given what we call, men were created and given what a percentage of mental development, whereby you interact. We can exchange, we can talk. When I say this language which I'm using now, you as somewhere in either Chicago or New York or California, you can very well hear what I'm talking to you, interaction, through the medium of exchanging articulation of words. So with that, that percentage of mental development can allow men and women to look at in a different view, not to spend trillions of dollars developing weapons. Well, as a Senate, as I was in the Senate, not knowing that we pass laws which support that men should carry weapons, my daughter was gunned, a 5-year-old, very beautiful girl, and her mother were gunned down while they were walking on the streets of New York. When they went to do shopping, my wife wanted to buy new dresses for my daughter to celebrate Thanksgiving, and a madman came out of nowhere and said, I have a right to carry a rifle, an assault rifle, on the streets of America. I said, well, this phone me and said, your daughter, and it seems your daughter and the wife have been. And my wife was pregnant too. I said, that is very saddening. From that day, I said, where do broken hearts go? Where do broken hearts go? I said to the senators, this conjecture where we have our own of life may be misleading us. We have to use a balanced equation. We have to use a method which is balanced both to Mother Nature as well as to human beings, because the percentage of mental development in human beings is kind of very limited to a few things. For some of that, you can say you own a horse which you ride over the weekend while you are going to play golf or going to the next town to buy eggs if you don't have a farm to rear your own free-range chicken. So when you ride the horse, if you have to ride that horse and you hit it while you're riding, then you are crazy, insane. Your brain, you went to Harvard University, but your brain stayed in a septic tank. Your brain stayed in a septic tank, but you thought you were at Harvard University, Yale University. But your brain was locked up in a septic tank. Because in a septic tank, it's war. It's war, total war. So that way, we are looking forward to a future whereby men remove the old guard thing and say, let's make this planet a village whereby we communities of Muslims all over the planet, we dance and celebrate, not by drinking alcohol, but drinking smoothies. When you pick a fruit of a tree, you're not supposed to kind of, what they call it. You just have to put it in a blender, add either fresh milk, and make it smooth. When you make it smooth, don't add things that are kind of, let's say, additives, artificial additives. They are not necessary because your body does not have the knowledge to remove those artificial or preservatives or additives or colors. The only knowledge your body, the only whatever the body know how the body knows, is to process things which are clearly organic in their natural form, that your body doesn't get very tired to do the work to support you all be in good health. That's all I can say. The whole topic was about good health, good living, and the future for children who do not look forward to be kind of taught how to shed blood of a northern Korean man, whereas he is a sister nation, the South Korea, beautiful girls. They're all one community, one mother, one dad. The only difference is that we are rehearsing to exterminate them. They're saying, if you are rehearsing to exterminate us, we will manufacture nuclear warhead after nuclear warhead. If you get in your senses, one day will come on the table when that Dawood, the king of the universe, comes around and says, hey, children, if you don't get rid of those dirty things that you call weapons, I may kind of put in a sink and lock in a septic tank, all of you. So you dance in a septic tank, you wallow yourself in a septic tank while you think you are